Hi, my name is Morris-Collie and I am the Communications Manager here at the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne. In this presentation, I aim to give you an insight into my role as a Communications Manager and how communication is a key component to the success of the hospital. It will be broken down into 4 main areas. Number 1, the responsibility of my role. Number 2, the different types of audiences. Number 3, different types of messages. And 4, different delivery methods used. Let's start by taking a look at how my role as a communications manager affects the Royal Children's Hospital. Firstly, hospitals are bureaucratic organisations that are highly structured chain of command. A path of communication is determined by this structure. Tasks and management are delegated based on this individual's position within the organisation. This makes it so much easier for a communications manager to delegate and guide each team with their communication practices. As a communications manager in a public hospital, I am responsible for both the internal and external communications. Internally, I'm responsible for the provision of timely and relevant information being communicated through multiple channels to engage the workforce. Thus, to achieve operational objectives and influence a positive culture here at the Royal Children's Hospital. Working with different departments such as the Human Resources team, Public Relations and executives, I am able to guide and maintain the team's professional communication, develop crisis communication when needed, and maintain positive publicity. External communication includes communicating with the public and external stakeholders. Next, let's take a look at the different types of audiences. Within the Royal Children's Hospital, a communications manager needs to be able to communicate with the internal and external stakeholders. Internally, I will be communicating with employees, managers, health professionals, patients, and obviously patients' families. The communication changes depending on who the audience is. For example, a communications manager in the Royal Children's Hospital needs to be able to communicate with health professionals, businessmen, as well as children. According to Stuart Hall, in his encoding and decoding model of communication, there are 3 ways of any message to be decoded or read by the audience. These are the dominant, negotiated, and oppositional readings. Externally, I will be communicating with the public and media to uphold the reputation of the hospital, as well as informing the public. External communications needs to be simple and easy to understand, so majority of the people can understand and communicate what the message encodes. Key messages need to be anti-biased, clear, and informative to decrease diverse cultural content noise. To do so, the communications managers need to be able to plan and develop an effective communication strategy that can be encoded and understood by everyone. Working within a diverse cultural environment, the communications manager must acknowledge the differences in society and adapt the communicated message. According to Locke, there are 3 different cross-cultural communication approaches that a manager can use. For a hospital communication, I personally think an acculturated approach would be beneficial. The delivery method of each message must be carefully chosen, and it depends on what the outcome of the message consists of. As a communication manager, I would use persuasion to communicate with the internal audience, such as stakeholders or supervisors of different departments. Utilizing both logical and ethical appeals to do so will create a fair and secure communication throughout the hospital. For the external delivery method, I would be using the transmission model created by Shannon Weaver in 1949. The model is a linear process which involves a center communicating a message through a channel and that message being decoded by a receiver. However, it should be noted that the environmental and somatic noise can potentially disrupt the message. More interestingly though, is how Burley in 1960 added the human element to the model. This suggested that words do not have the same meaning to everyone. A communications manager needs to acknowledge this and be able to change messages in order to deliver a message effectively to a particular audience. Thank you for watching.